Stipe Miocic is coming out of the woodworks for UFC 309. The media press campaign has begun just 2 weeks ahead of time. The mumbling, bumbling giant himself, Stipe Miocic, is going to be taking on Jon Jones at 309. Finally, we're getting some interviews from Stipe. He talked with Jake Paul last week. Now he's spoken with MMA Fighting. Here's the interview. Here's a clip of it, specifically talking about the relationship between Jon Jones himself, Tom Aspinall, and everything of the like.
I just wanted to fight Jon. I mean, that's what I wanted to do. And, don't get wrong, Aspinall, he's a great fighter, but I just want to fight Jon Jones.
Yeah. What did you think?
Stipe wants to fight Jon Jones. He's always wanted to fight him. He's a guy who's been hanging around. They were coming up at, they were champions around the same time. Not coming up at the same time, but they're both guys that are older in their careers. They kind of had successes at the same similar time frame-ish. What can you say? He's a guy who threatened, Jon Jones always threatening to move up to heavyweight, and Stipe was always welcoming of it in the past, and he just wants to fight him.
Think of him at heavyweight with that fight with Cyril Gane.
I was right there. I was front row. He did what he was supposed to do. He got the win. I didn't see much because he didn't go that long. But he did everything he was supposed to and got the win.
You are.
All right, Stipe is a little bit hard to follow at times. He's saying that the Jon Jones and Cyril Gane fight was quick. He didn't see much. Jon Jones didn't show a lot because the fight was over so quickly.
With that fight with Cyril Gane.
I was right there. I was front row. He did what he was supposed to do. He got the win. I didn't see much because he didn't go that long. But he did everything he was supposed to and got the win.
You are exactly what everyone has said for years. You would be one of, if not the toughest matchup for Jon at heavyweight.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I think any fight I have, I'm the toughest matchup for them because not just me, it's my coaches. We have always come with a great game plan. And they improvise, they make everything right, and they, as long as I go to the game plan, listen, and we'll be good.
For the most part, he's been pretty.
All right, so Stipe there saying that he's a bad matchup for Jon Jones and all his opponents. But truthfully, speaking of the Jon Jones fight, Stipe actually has a wrestling base. Jon Jones is infamous for getting in on takedowns and completing takedowns no matter what. He always gets takedowns in his fights. But this time, Stipe's got good takedown defense. He hasn't faced somebody with a big, weight. There's not going to be a weight disadvantage per se, but Stipe weighs a lot more than any of his previous opponents. So, will he be able to take down Stipe, who is a good wrestler? Because he wasn't able to take care of Dominic Reyes, what's his name, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith. He wasn't able to take them down and dominate them on the ground. So, moving into this, will he be able to take Stipe, who actually has a good wrestling background? Will he be able to take him down?
Pretty dominant. What do you think has been the biggest thing that helps Jon stay that dominant?
You don't know. I think he's good at what he does. He's very, he's an artist. He knows how to mix it up. He knows how to keep the guy guessing, and that's why he's done so well.
Have you heard the narrative of people saying, why is Stipe getting this fight? Like, why are we seeing Jon and Stipe? What do you say to the critics who say, it should be Aspinall, it should not be Stipe?
It was my choice. It's the fight I wanted. UFC gave it to me. They didn't have to. They gave it to me.
All right, Stipe, very nonchalant here. He's always been battling with the UFC. They've always been trying to put Stipe down in the dumps, I guess, and so to speak. They've always been trying to put over his opponents and throw Stipe under the bus. They've always protected his opponents in the media, and then they've kind of just trashed Stipe, and Stipe doesn't really care. He's like, I'm glad they gave me the fight. He probably knows deep down they're only giving him the fight because it's kind of a light heavyweight GOAT versus heavyweight GOAT thing. He's fortunate enough to have the fight. He hasn't fought in almost 4 years now. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
Would you consider Jon Jones the quote unquote toughest matchup, or maybe the hardest puzzle to solve just because of who Jon Jones is?
Oh yeah, sure, I guess. But I think every fight's your hardest fight because it's a new guy, it's a different style. Because one fight you're fighting, I was fighting Francis, the next fight I was fighting DC. I mean, it's like totally different, 180. And so it just depends. I think every fight's your hardest fight. Definitely everyone has a puzzle you guys got to figure out. Everyone has tendencies, you got to figure them out.
So everybody's a puzzle to figure out from each opponent to the next. It's always hard because you have to change it up. You have to change up the whole game plan, whole fighting scheduling, everything that goes into a fight. You have to completely change onto the next opponent. So, hard to read Stipe sometimes, but that's what he's saying there.
But in an ideal scenario, how does this one end?
Oh yeah, of course, a knockout. There's no question. The gusto.
When you think about it, obviously, again, Jon's fought everyone. Do you feel like Jon's ever fought anyone with your power, though?
Maybe not. I don't know. I've never fought his guys. But we'll find out.
Well,
So Stipe is gunning for the knockout. He thinks that it's possible that he has the hardest, heaviest hands that John Jones has faced.
Steven, we've been waiting for that. As much as we've been waiting for this, I know you've been waiting for this for even longer. As the anticipation, as I said, 2 weeks later, are you just amped up, just ready to go?
Yeah, man, I just wish it was here already, but fortunately it's not though. Listen, patience is a virtue, and we'll get there soon enough.
And new is what we're.
Yes, you're gonna hear and new. Polish bad.
I love it, Stipe. Thank you as always.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
In all honesty, it's very hard to pick apart Stipe's words here, but he continued in the interview and at one point even stated, "I believe people want to see me, Stipe versus John Jones, I think, a lot more than people want to see him fight Aspinall," in reference to John Jones. Absolutely absurd statement from Stipe here. He's being gifted the title shot. Even he seemed to acknowledge this in the interview, but yet continued to go on to say this kind of stuff. Of course he has to say this. It builds up the fight. It creates some kind of friction between him and Tom Aspinall. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments down below if you think it should be Stipe and John Jones, or if it should be Tom Aspinall and John Jones, or Tom Aspinall and Stipe. We all know what we want to see. We want to see John Jones, the overhyped GOAT of light heavyweight, taking on the best right now at heavyweight, that is Tom Aspinall. We all want to see that. If you're a hardcore fan, you know what I'm talking about. This fight right now, Stipe John Jones, is the casual fan appeal. So let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.